Good morning, Ashika. Good morning, Awad.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. How are
Good
you
morning, mom.
today? Children, how many kids were present in the previous class? Any idea?
Ma'am, 10.
10 were present, and at what time the class has ended?
Ma'am, 10:30.
Exact. Fine. Fine, okay. So, kids, yesterday we started with a new chapter, right? We will be continuing with that one only. Okay. So, do you have any trouble, any doubts in the chapter? Is there any confusion, any doubt in the chapter, kids?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
So,
No, ma'am.
great. That's confirmed. Let's.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, Utkarsh. Daksh is also trying to join in. Let him join. Okay, movement.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
What we are doing?
Today we will be doing Bhakti movement. Yesterday we did the
Maybe we are doing the exercises. Remember some location there.
not in your lecture exercise I was doing. I would be do exercise tomorrow for 7B. Maybe we have completed.
Ma'am, we have to start from Bhakti movement during the Sultanate period.
Sultanate period, right? We read
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the
But ma'am, what we can yesterday you have said that ma'am, what we can highlight in Lioners and Ivars.
Wellness and urban we can simply, there's not much to underline there in that. You can simply, basically, first thing you can mention that the Nanas were the worshippers of Lord Shiva, whereas the Alvars were the worshippers of Lord Vishnu. Okay, you can write this there because it's not given in the book. Right?
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, there is a glitch coming up right now. Ma'am, can I rejoin?
Yeah, you can rejoin, but no worries.
Ma'am, screen is merging with the video area, ma'am.
No,
Ma'am, it's a
right? So simply you can, if you want to underline, you can underline. Let us read their lessons and compose the sounds in Tamil, not in Sanskrit, which is a very important factor to read because Sanskrit was a very prestigious language back then, but they ditched that and they started using the local languages. Okay, so that they can just reach to the masses. Now we have to talk about the Bhakti movements during the Sultanate period. Now, kids, there arose during the Sultanate period another wave of Bhakti movement in North India. जो भी हमने बात की थी Alvars and Nainars. Okay, these Alvars and Nainars they were in southern India. Tell me.
Ma'am, what?
The Alvars and Nainars were a group of saints from northern India or southern India?
Ma'am, Southern India.
Southern India, right? So along with the southern India, that's what they have said that yeah. Along with the southern India, there came a wave of Bhakti movement in North India as well, popularly known as Vaishnav Bhakti. What was known as during that? That movement was known as Vaishnav Bhakti. Wait, somebody's mic is open. Can you put it off?
okay, ma'am.
Right? It came to be known as Vaishnav Bhakti.
You
Now,
can
Indian
underline this.
Bhakti cult, or it was very different from the Indian Bhakti cult in many ways, right? The Indian Bhakti, South majority, it was different from that. There was a person called Ramananda. Ramananda was the most prominent scholar saint of Vaishnav Bhakti, right? Ramananda was most.
A question can come.
Hanji?
Who was the most prominent scholar saint of Vaishnava Bhakti?
Exactly. The question who was the most prominent scholar of saint of Vaishnava Bhakti in northern India? It was Ramananda. Cool. So he belonged to the late 14th and early 15th century. These are the centuries he belonged to. And he lived in South India in the early part of his life, but later he settled in Banaras. He is considered to be the link between the South Indian Bhakti tradition and the North Indian Vaishnava Bhakti tradition. It is believed that he is the person who has linked both of them. Okay, right?
Ma'am, we can
Okay.
highlight this also
Yeah,
the late
that's
14
right.
and the
This is why I'm underlining that so that you can highlight it for your reference. Now, in North India, however, the Vaishnav Bhakti cult acquired a more popular base, right? In the northern India, the Alvars were not very popular, but the Vaishnavas were very popular, right? And that too only in the Mughal period, because Tulsidas campaigned the cause of Ram Bhakti, while Surdas and Mirabai and many others popularized Krishna Bhakti. We know that Tulsidas wrote about Ram, right?
yes, ma'am.
While Surdas and Mirabai wrote about Krishna, Lord Krishna, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, there was another person known as Ramanuja. Who was he?
And we've not done this paragraph in North India.
Ramanuja, right? Ramanuja was
Ramanuja.
the earliest proponent of the Bhakti cult in South India, यानी कि जो इसको propel करते हैं आगे लेके जाते हैं. So Ramanuja was the one. He drew his teachings from Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita. He was not relying on any priest or any Brahmin for knowledge. No, he himself read these Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, and he derived his knowledge from there. He taught in the language of the common people. In which language did he teach?
Ma'am, Bhagavad Gita.
Language
No.
of common people.
Very good, Utkarsh. He taught in the language of,
Common people.
Common people.
yeah, whether you can say
Ma'am,
thought,
what we are doing?
speech. Who was asking what are we doing?
Hmm.
Ma'am, Lakshmi
I'm
and I.
Lakshmi.
Laksh.
Ma'am, I was joining.
Okay, Laksh, we are doing Bhakti movements during the Sultanate period. Okay, Laksh.
What can you repeat it?
Laksh, your voice is also breaking. Whether we are doing Bhakti movements during the Sultanate period. You can see the screen, you can get to know where are we. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So he taught in the language of the common people and soon a number of people became his followers, right? Just say people are like that only, no? They just start following people if they think, okay, this person is a masiha, he's going to do good things for us. Vallabhacharya, a Telugu Brahmin and an important saint of Bhakti movement in the state of
Question can come.
Gujarat, right? Who's a Telugu Brahmin?
Ma'am, Vallabhacharya.
Vallabhacharya.
मैं मेरा बचा रहा
I am highlighting these 3 points.
Very
मैं
good.
me
Right?
too.
Very good. So Vallabhacharya, a Telugu Brahmin, became an important saint of the Bhakti movement in the state of Gujarat. In many significant ways, the Vaishnava Bhakti in Bengal was different from its Indian counterpart and the older ways of Indian Bhakti movement. So the new one was way too different from the older ways, from the previous Bhakti movements. There was a leader called Chaitanya. What was the name of this leader? Chaitanya. Can you see how
Chaitanya.
he dressed? Can you see how is he dressed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So people used to call him an incarnation of Krishna and Radha in one body. Okay, Chaitanya was known as the incarnation of Krishna and Radha in one body. People said he possessed the qualities of the both. Right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
He was a very prominent Vaishnav saint of Bengal. Vaishnav saint means, what do you mean by Vaishnav saint, children?
In Bengal, it is from North India.
Right. Okay, it's a very prominent Vaishnav saints of Bengal. He popularized Krishna Bhakti in many parts of Eastern India. Okay. What did he popularize, children? He popularized
The practice of Sankirtan
he
or group
popularized,
devoting singers.
he popularized Krishna Bhakti, right? He disregarded all distinctions of caste, creed, and sex, which gave a popular base to Krishna Bhakti. He was like, no, I do not believe in caste system. Even doesn't matter. Lord Krishna loves all of his followers equally, whether that follower is a poor person, whether that follower is from a lower caste, right? So that is what brought Krishna Bhakti, like what brought Krishna a huge number of followers, right? His followers belong to all castes and communities. So it's not only that he doesn't only have followers from Hindus only. No, he had followers from Sikh as well, as well, Muslims. Okay, so Daksh voices are coming. Very good, Daksh. Okay, so Krishna Bhakt, his followers belong to all castes and communities. One of his most favorite disciples was Haridas, who was a Muslim. Disciple means, kids, I told you the meaning of disciple yesterday.
Ma'am, who was the
Guru Shishya.
most favorite disciple of
If
Chaitanya? So
somebody
let
said
her.
two sisters, disciple means
Shishya.
Students of teacher.
yes, yes,
Students of teacher.
yes. Disciples means students. Okay, so here very good set.
We are the discipline of
Yes, okay. So
Ma'am, we are disciple of
you.
you.
thank you. So this Haridas was a very popular, no? Is a very favorite disciple. Okay, and his name was Haridas. He was a Muslim. He popularized the practice of Sankirtan and a group of devotees singing accompanied by ecstatic dancing. You might have seen people. If you have ever been to Mathura, Vrindavan, you might have seen there in the temple people are just
Yes,
dancing
ma'am.
on the beach.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
they are
Ma'am,
just
I'm Swan. In
yeah, we call it Swan Temple, Swan something like that. It's in Bareilly as well, no?
yes,
No,
ma'am.
there's one more thing we call it. It begins from I. What do we call it?
S. Yes, ma'am.
ISKCON Temple, right? Yeah, so they are just dancing on the songs related to God and just letting it go. He popularized the practice of Sankirtan, a group of devotee dancing and all. Okay, yeah, yes. Okay. So Chaitanya's movement, however, had a great impact on Bengal society. Disregard for caste distinctions in spirit of devotional singing promoted a spirit of equality in Bengali life. In Bengal and Puri in Odisha, his movement became popular. In these places, his followers were not always scholarly Brahmins, but included common people. Okay, he used to go to common people's houses, they will stay there. Not only the rich merchants, no. Okay. Now, next they are saying is they wrote Bengali, propagated his bhakti, and looked upon Chaitanya as the living Krishna and Radha, living Krishna, right? Or Radha and Krishna in one body. I told you kids, like it will be there.
Ma'am.
Sorry, Daksh, read for you.
From where?
From you can read from like other.
Like other Vaishnava Bhakti movements, the Maharashtra Bhakti tradition drew basic inspiration from Bhagavad Purana. In addition, however, it was also influenced by the Saiva Nath Panthis who were quite popular in the lower classes of the Maharashtrian society during the 11th and 12th centuries and composed their verses in Marathi. Janeshwar, as the pioneer Bhakti saint of Maharashtra, he wrote an extensive commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, popularly called Janan Shivari. This was one of the earliest works of Marathi literature and served as the foundation of Bhakti ideology in Maharashtra. He was the author of many hymns called Abhangas. He thought that the only way to attain goal God was Bhakti, in which there was no place for caste distinction.
Okay. So
Namde.
as we read, now what did he read is that जैसे कि अभी we read that Vaishnav Bhakti movement and Maharashtra book tradition drew basic inspiration from Bhagavad Purana. Just like the Vaishnav one, the Maharashtra Bhakti tradition improved, like got their inspiration from the Bhagavad Puran. Okay. In addition, however, it was also influenced by Saiva Nathpanthis. Okay, Nathpanthis again is an important topic. Who were these Nathpanthis? Like they were quite popular in the lower classes of the Maharashtrian society during the 11th and 12th centuries and composed their verses in Marathi. Okay. Now, what happened is that the 19th.
Ma'am, you have said that is from I. That is gone.
What? What are you saying, Daksh? Okay, fine. So yeah, like Nath Panchis were the people who were a part of the lower class groups, and they were very popular during the Maharashtrian region. Janeshwar was the pioneer. He wrote about in an extensive commentary on Bhagavad Gita, popularly people called Gita popularly called, what is the name written here?
Ma'am, Bhagavad Gita.
No, Janeshwari. Okay.
Ma'am,
Janeshwari.
Right. Yes. Okay. So
what is Bhagavad Gita popularly called?
yeah, he
Ma'am,
wrote
it's another name of Bhagavad.
what is another name of Bhagavad Gita?
Janeshwari.
No,
Janeshwari.
no.
Popularly named.
The commentary which he wrote on Bhagavad Gita was known as Janeshwari. Okay, got it. Bhagavad Gita was not known as
Yes, ma'am.
Janeshwari. What is Janeshwari?
Ma'am, commentary of Bhagavad Gita.
Yes, the
It's a
commentary
popularly
is like
called.
on Bhagavad Gita. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Just you should underline this.
Ma'am, what is about? Okay. Ma'am,
My underline.
Yes,
ma'am,
Daksh. Yes, Daksh. Right. So the Marathi literature, it was one of the earliest works of the Marathi literature and served as the foundation of Bhakti ideology in Maharashtra. He was the author of many hymns called Abhangs. Hymns means chant. What's the meaning of hymns?
ma'am, sons.
No?
Ma'am, some people
पूरा चैप्टर भक्ति से पढ़ा है, हमें यही पता hymns क्या होती है.
Ma'am, bhajan.
Yes, very good, Abhishek. Hymns means bhajan. होता है मम्मी लोग भजन गाते हैं.
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
The
if
bhajan-
what is Abhanga, so we will write the author of many hymns.
The hymns which he wrote were known as abhangs, right? The hymns written by Nathpanthis were known as what?
Hymn Abhangas.
Abhangas, right? So he
The
taught them.
author that Nathimpus was the author of many hymns called Among Us.
Right? He taught that there's only one way to attain God was bhakti, in which there was no place for caste distinction. And later on, he emphasized that if you really want to attain God, if you really want salvation, then you need to do such kind of bhakti where you are not doing any caste discrimination, because children, we are well aware that at that point of time the condition of the poorer section of society was terrible, right? Isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
In
Ma'am,
what
you were
way?
saying that the Scon temple, ma'am, before the.
So
So, ma'am, that is very old in ma'am.
no, not very old.
Yes, ma'am, I've seen foreigners come and they are dancing on the road.
Right. Okay. But you will notice a very good thing.
Yes, ma'am.
We have seen the foreigners coming in adopted religion. When you might
Yes,
have
ma'am.
seen, when we go to the
Ma'am,
temple,
they built only Scon.
when we go to a temple, we request Panditji to let us have the darshan for some more time. We do not try want to stand in line. We pay the pandits and get puja and puja first. Right?
Ma'am, some extra money.
Hanji?
Ma'am, my favorite.
Ma'am, some of them charge extra money.
Yes. Okay, he's absolutely right. Okay. Now there came Namdev. Namdev is considered to be the link between Maharashtra Bhakti and North Indian Bhakti movement. He was the person who has linked it. Okay. His Bhakti songs have also been included in the Adi Granth. Other important Bhakti saints of Maharashtra were Eknath and Tukaram. Okay. Other important proponents of Bhakti were Kabir, Mirabai, and Guru Nanak. Have you understood till here?
Yes, ma'am.
Now this is very interesting. I really like talking about community. He has been very, very, very things and which can relate even today. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Sushant read.
Okay, ma'am. Case study. Kabir was the earliest and the ma'am, what is it? Undoubtedly the most powerful figure of the North India ma'am, what?
Monotheistic.
Monotheistic movement that began
Excuse me,
in
ma'am.
15th
Yes,
century.
Vita.
He belonged to a family of
Ma'am, what is the meaning of
weaver-
weavers?
Meaning of
Ma'am, it is written that Kabir he belonged to the family of weavers. What is the meaning of weavers?
Abhi I'll
Ma'am,
tell
it is
you
in
that.
city.
tailor.
Yes, but not tailor specifically. Tailor
Chula.
stitches. Tailor stitches the clothes. Weaver is someone who weaves the clothes, weaves the thread to make a fabric. Got it?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Sushant.
Ma'am, Kashi.
He
Hmm.
Ma'am, Kashi.
Yes, Vita. Sushant.
Ma'am, I'm
he
saying
belonged to a
Kashi. Ma'am, read.
He belonged to a family of weavers, in the bracket Jola, who were indigenous converts to Islam. He spent the greater part of his life in Varanasi, in the bracket Kashi. His verses were included in the six scriptures, the Adi Granth, in Panchwani, and in Bajak in large numbers. Raidas or Ravidas most probably belong to the generation next to Kabir's and was influenced by Kabir's ideas. Kabir believed in
Sushant, wait. Sushant, do you practice reading at home?
yeah.
No, you don't do it. You need to do
Mama
it.
read a book. Mama read the storybook at night
But no, that you must be reading like
in
that.
English.
Try to spend 10 minutes or 5 minutes a day. Stand in front of a mirror and then do reading practice. You'll improve yourself.
Ma'am, can I read?
Okay.
Ma'am, can I read the last paragraph?
I'll tell you, wait a minute. Right? So Kabir was the earliest and undoubtedly the most powerful figure in North India monotheistic movements. Monotheistic movement means,
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
wait a minute, I will clear. What's the meaning of monotheistic movement?
Ma'am, another aspect of bhakti.
Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? No.
Ma'am, unbhakti movement.
No. Monotheistic movements believe that there is only one God. The belief of having only one God. In these movements, they try to tell people that there is only one God, and it is the human beings who have given them different names. Got it?
Like ma'am, Ganesh ji, Shiv ji.
Yeah. Like Vishnu ji,
Ma'am, Narsingh
Ram
Bhagwan.
ji. Okay. So that is what it is. Okay. Now,
Narsingh God.
sorry, kids, sorry.
Ma'am,
Yes.
the dog is barking.
Yeah, it was mine. Very sorry for children. Okay.
Ma'am, I want to ask
Ma'am,
something.
please show.
Ma'am,
I cannot show you, sorry. We are in a
ma'am
class.
Ma'am,
dog.
what is his name?
His
Ma'am,
name
what is his name?
His name is Rio.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I
Yeah.
want to ask something.
Yes, ask.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, I am asking
Ma'am,
that. Ma'am, I was asking that he was ma'am he is Muslim. Then he spent his greater part in life in Kashi.
Yes. So,
Ma'am, he spent
So,
his
ma'am,
greater part.
Ma'am, he is ma'am Kabir is Muslim. So why he spent his greater part life in Varanasi, Kashi?
he was shifted to Kashi. Maybe his parents were shifted to Kashi. And you know what? These things have become a very big thing nowadays. But there was a very, I don't remember the name of the person, a very famous, I think, Chennai player, or either a Chennai player or that, what do we call that, Veena player. He was a very famous player, and he was also a Muslim, but he used to play in the temples of Banaras,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So these things are common back then. It doesn't matter, and that's what they're
Ma'am, in
trying to tell
Varanasi,
you.
there are more ghats.
They're like, well, it doesn't matter whether I'm praying in a mosque or in a temple. The God is the same everywhere, right? It is just that we have given them different names of Bhagwan, Allah,
Yes,
Christ,
ma'am.
right? That's what these
Ma'am,
movements are
even
about. Okay. He spent his later part of life in Varanasi. His verses were included in the six scriptures. Scripture means the six
ma'am,
holy
from
books.
case study, question can come.
Yes, obviously it comes all the time. Right? So
Yes,
six scripture means the Guru Granth Sahib, right? So the Adi Granth in Panchwani and in Baijak are large numbers. In all these books, his works have been included. Raidas or Ravidas most probably belonged to the generation of next to Kabir's and was very much influenced by Kabir's ideas. Now Atharv is going to read. Finally, Atharv is speaking in the class.
Ma'am, I will read the last paragraph, please, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have highlighted full paragraph because questions are few.
Ibad, it's not Diamond, it's that Labrador.
What? Okay, ma'am.
Yes, read. Atharv, beta, we're waiting for you. Hurry up.
Yes, ma'am.
Atharv, read, no?
Ma'am, Kabir Das ji has also written some dohe.
Has also released a.
Ma'am, some dohe.
Yeah, not released. He has written the couplets which are known as dohas. Right? Yes,
Yes,
Atharv,
ma'am.
read.
Okay,
Read,
ma'am.
Atharv.
Kabir believed in oneness of God, irrespective of the names by which human beings address them. He vehemently opposed idol worship, caste system, and untouchability as practiced by the Hindus. At the same time, he commanded the orthodoxy and meaningless rituals of the Muslims. Kabir also laid stress on religious tolerance and made a strong plea for Hindu-Muslim unity. The teaching
Unity.
of Kabir,
Wait a minute, Adhar. What is unity? Hmm?
Ma'am,
Unity.
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 ma'am, unity.
So Kabir believed in the oneness of God. He always believed that there is only one God, right? Irrespective of the names which human beings address them as. Human beings call him Allah, Jesus, Ram, Krishna, Vishnu. But Kabir believed there is only one God, right? Now, he vehemently opposed the idol worship. What is the meaning of idol worship, children?
Ma'am, good worship.
No. He opposed worship को oppose क्यों करेंगे? अच्छी worship है वो. Idol worship means
Ma'am, different worships.
no. Anyone else? Sushant, Athar, Lakshya.
Lovely.
Yes,
Lovely. No.
Ma'am, Pratima.
Only Google.
Ma'am, an image of God used as an object of worship.
Yes. So what do you think? People have stopped doing idol worship. Tell me, are the people doing idol worship nowadays or not?
Yes, ma'am.
But he opposed it. He was like idol worship, caste system, all these things should be completely banned. These are all wrong things. And along with it, he also opposed untouchability too as well. He said these practices must not be practiced. Okay. At the same time, he condemned the orthodoxy. Orthodoxy means kids.
Orthodoxy. Ma'am, following the traditional, generally accepted rules on religions.
If I am saying that Raja Ram Mohan Rao was completely wrong, Sati Pratha should not have been banned. I think Sati Pratha must be practiced even today. Am I being an orthodox? Tell me. A very simple meaning of orthodox is Purane Khyalat wale. Right? The people who have the older views. Right? The people who have not grown with time, not changed with time. Those people are known
Ma'am,
as
like in for
orthodox.
discrimination, old people 10%.
What?
Ma'am, like in discrimination, we see old people don't change their.
Right. We can say that. So he was like ये जो orthodox rituals इस Muslims में होने सब नहीं होने चाहिए. We should not be following these many rituals. Kabir also laid stress on religious tolerance and made a strong plea for Hindu-Muslim unity. Religious tolerance means
Ma'am, what is meaning of plea?
बताती हूँ. Religious tolerance means he respected all religions. Okay. He wasn't an ardent follower of a particular religion. He believed in all religions, and he told people that you should always stay. He requested people to maintain the Hindu-Muslim unity, to not fight among each other because all of us are humans and even our God is the same. It's just that we have given him different names, right? Isn't it?
Ma'am. Ma'am, can I tell one doha of ma'am Kavi Das?
Sure, Dash. बताइए दक्ष.
Ma'am, it is in Hindi.
I know.
मैम कबीरा ये संसार है जैसा सेमल फूल दिन 10 के व्यवहार में जूते रंग न भूल.
Meaning
मीनिंग इज कबीर जी में कहना चाहते कि यह संसार सेमल के फूल की तरह है, इसमें मनुष्य के 10 दिन के अच्छे व्यवहार से ये नहीं समझ जाना चाहिए कि वो एक अच्छा मनुष्य है, पता नहीं कि असली सच्चाई क्या हो।
Very good. Anyone else knows any other Doha of Kabir? Nobody knows. I'll tell you one. It was, even I read the Dohas in my school time. So it was, कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, ऐसा एक दिन आएगा, हंस चुनेगा दाना तिनका, कौवा मोती खाएगा. You know the meaning of this?
मैम which? Go ma'am.
कहत कबीर सुनो भाई साधु, ऐसा एक दिन आएगा, हंस चुनेगा दाना तिनका, कौवा मोती खाएगा. Yes, सुशांत.
मैम ये जो आपने दोहा कहा, इसका मतलब है कि एक ऐसा दिन भी आएगा जो कलयुग में आना चाहिए, कलयुग में ऐसा एक दिन आएगा कि हंस दाने खाएगा और कौवा खाएगा मोती. मतलब कौवे को जो दाना खाने पड़ते थे वो बढ़िया खाना खाएगा, और हंस जो बढ़िया खाना खाता था वो दाने खाएगा.
Exactly, you're absolutely right. That is what the
Ma'am
meaning of
means
it is.
a rich person will be rich and poor
Yes,
person
that
will
is
be
what he
poor.
meant. That right now, if you are troubling the people, making them suffer from untouchability, right, treating them badly, a time will come when these people will rule, and the people who are sitting there as rulers, they will be eating the normal food. They will not be getting any royal treatment. And hasn't it become true to some extent, right? The
Yes,
Dalits,
ma'am.
whom they have treated so badly in the earlier days, nowadays those Dalits have become police inspectors, they are in income tax
Like,
department, and they are enjoying their lives,
yes, ma'am.
right?
Like Bunny.
Okay, Shali, read the last
Like,
paragraph quickly, Daksh, then we'll...
okay, ma'am. The teachings of Kabir are in the form of short poems and couplets called dohas. They pass from one generation to the next in oral tradition. After his death, the words of Kabir were put down in writing down as Kabiri Manis. Later on, Kabir Granthavali and Bijak were composed, which contains the philosophy of Kabir. After his death, the followers of Kabir, which included both Hindu and Muslim, came to be known as Kabir Panthis.
Right. The teachings of Kabir are in the form of short poems and couplets called dohas. They pass
Ma'am,
from
what
one
are
generation to
dohas?
the next in oral tradition. Like, see, I read in my school time, that's how I remember you're reading in your school time. And similarly, your kids will be reading in their school time, right? The good part is that, okay, if here we are not transferring to oral tradition only, we are going with them through the written one as well. So they pass from one generation to the another. I read in my generation, my generation read, your parents read, and now even you are reading. Okay. So Kabir, after his after his death, the words of Kabir were put down in writing known as Kabir Vanis. जो भी बातें कबीर बोलते थे उन सबको एक बुक में लिखा गया जिसको कहते हैं कबीर वाणी, and later on Kabir Granthavali and Bijak were composed which contained the philosophy of Kabir. After his death, the followers of Kabir, which included both Hindus and Muslims, came to be known as Kabir Panthis. Clear?
Man, tomorrow we will start from monastic women.
Then I'm thinking of starting Kabir right now only. But only 1 minute is left. Let me see how much is there. There was
1 minute only.
See, can you do it tomorrow? I think tomorrow you'll be able to finish the chapter, right? Along with the
It
exercise.
was very easy.
Easy, no? It is. This is also very easy. And I was thinking that after this, shall we do the last chapter of history as well? Then our history will be completed. We'll be at least relaxed from one side. Right, children?
Yes, ma'am. फिर we will do then we'll do civics 2 chapters, then geography.
No.
Then we will
After
complete.
this, we'll do history. After this, we'll do geography because only one chapter is left in geography. So geography will also be completed, and then we'll come to civics. Right? So I think we'll be able to finish the syllabus in time, right, children?
Ma'am, 100%.
I like the confidence. Why Krishna has not joined today? Did he join the previous classes?
Ma'am, his battery was very.
Oh yeah, fine. And what about these people?